Yeah, it's dark.
The moon landing happened, Jake.
Real dad shit, dog.
Don't fuck with me or I'm gonna fuck with you.
All the emo sad girl. I want to touch bellies with this movie.
Well, hello, Jake.
Hello, Aaron.
How are you, good sir?
I'm doing pretty good.
Hell yeah. You know, it's always a good week when the person you forgot to mention last week comes up. Now, before we even talk about the new Bilmuri song, last week, you know, you gave our listeners a little message. You told them that you were wrong. You know, you fessed up. But I just wanted to make sure you didn't have any more to add about it, because that's a heartbreaker, you know? We probably let some people down, is all I'm saying.
Really ashamed of my actions, and promise I'll do better.
You didn't even tell them in HD.
Yeah. I think I told an iPhone audio quality.
Yeah. It's okay. It could have been Android quality.
Yeah, it could be worse.
Let's just jump right into it, bro, because Bilmuri is an important member of this podcast, I'd say.
Yeah.
He's not just something we talk about. He is a member.
Yeah.
And
anytime he wants to come on, you know, just honorary member.
I swear this is the only time I'm going to do this the whole episode, but I actually forgot what the new Bilmuri song's called. So
talking
now I'm
your ghost.
Talking to your ghost. Now I'm being disrespectful. Dude, you said something right after we finished watching the music video, and I'm just going to have you repeat it now.
But he never misses?
No, he don't miss.
He don't miss.
Full dad bod, full cornfield, full Bilmuri, full Murica.
He's flexing with a combine, which, if you think about it, is worth more than any car a rapper could flex with.
Is it fucked up that we're talking more about the video than the song? Or do you think that his videos are important to him?
I think his videos are pretty important to him. I think he puts little to no effort in them, but I think that's the point.
I mean, you say little to no effort, but he had to find a hookup for that combine.
Well, yeah, somebody had to be like, yeah, sure, I'll drive the combine.
I mean, how much does that machine cost?
Millions.
Bro, he's flexing.
Yeah.
That's the equivalent of, you know, a rapper wearing a watch that's worth tens of thousands of dollars. Mm-hmm. In fact, he's flexing harder.
It's true.
Now, for real though, Bilmuri doesn't miss. The new song, Talking to Your Ghost, is absolutely incredible. But what's more than a song, the man gave us an album announcement.
Yep.
American Motorsports.
And a tour announcement.
What is it, just the American
Motor Tour?
Yeah, American Motor Tour. I think you and I are going to go, maybe, possibly.
Yeah, the only one near us is DC.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah. I mean, it's not far.
No.
But DC's a pain to navigate.
It is. But, you know, Bilmuri might be worth it.
It might be worth it.
Another part of the tour, and again, this is not complaining. This is simply me being, you know, lackadaisical with my music listening. I don't know the openers. Mm-hmm. And typically that's a huge draw for me for a show.
I know somebody I work with knows the openers, both of them. And he said they're good.
Is that a fucking spider? Is it alive?
Looks to be.
That's a wolf spider, isn't it?
It's a fucking big one, I can tell you that.
You just hang right over there. Oh my God, content though if he starts running over a Jake.
Nah, I'm gone. Fuck a spider.
Fuck this podcast.
Yeah.
Fuck this table.
Everything on or near this table is gone.
If he twitches.
Yeah. I'm going straight through Aaron out that door.
Oh shit. Yeah, no, well maybe he likes Bilmuri too. So as long as we don't disrespect him.
Paranoid about any other spiders that might be around.
You know what's crazy is the pest control comes every month.
And they're still
everywhere. Can't have nothing nice these days. But Bilmuri does. He had a combine.
Yeah.
And a banger of a song.
I lied. It's probably not millions of dollars. It's a couple $100,000 though.
Yeah, I would say 100, 200,000.
Yeah, it's a couple $100,000.
Ask Siri what the average price of a combine is.
Hey Siri, what's the price of an average combine?
This complexity is reflected in the price. A single combine can cost as much as $100,000.
Yeah, well,
there are
That's all I needed to hear. It is 6 figures.
It was a case. So they're a pretty big brand.
Yeah. So what? A non-big brand is probably like 80,000.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, Bill Murray's doing what he always does. He's not missing. He's making bangers, and he announced a tour and an album, and it's going to most likely get Jake and I into DC, which is a city that you and I probably don't frequent.
The only time I go to DC is my wife has a friend that lives up there, and we might go and see her every now and then. Is that a train?
Shit. Yeah. Does your wife's friend happen to like Bill Murray?
She probably will.
Hey.
Yeah. She's never heard it, but she is like, she's into like A Day to Remember and stuff like that. So
there you go.
It's pretty much adjacent.
Yeah, because he's going to play, he's not going to just do the country stuff.
No.
He's going to be doing like his song with probably Will Ramos, just without Will Ramos. So.
I'll just do Will Ramos's part.
Dude, what do you look for in a Bill Murray set list?
I don't know.
He has so many different sounds.
It's true. He could do a really good mix of different sounds in a set list.
Oh, like kind of like a mashup. Like he'll do a few mashups here and there, maybe.
Mm. And you get like live saxophone and violin.
Bro. No. I mean, he's coming off that Sleep Token money. He might be able to afford it, you know? Look, he did a tour with Sleep Token, and all of a sudden he has a combine.
That's true.
He went from a pushing mower to a riding mower to a combine. He's showing us his started from the bottom. He's here.
They probably filmed that before the tour. All right, pause for train.
Pause for the train going by our building. Choo choo.
We're actually currently getting hit by a train.
Yeah, no, the train is on top of us. Yeah, so y'all probably won't notice it as much as we did, but we've been sitting just waiting for this train to leave. It's been about 6 minutes.
Yep.
6 minutes of train.
We'll give you a little clip of the sound.
Yeah. Honestly, you know what? I just had the greatest idea come to my head. Push mower, riding lawnmower, combine, train. Motherfucker should get on a train.
The next one is a train.
Now, I know that he would obviously...
That'd be pretty much impossible.
Yeah. Unless you know a guy, Jake.
That would also be impossible. They do not let anybody near the trains.
No. Except for they're always fucking graffitied.
Yeah, well, that's while they're sitting somewhere at night.
Do you think Bill Murray could film that in a way that he'd get away with it?
No.
Because do all the cars have like numbers on them so you know exactly what train it was?
Every single one of them's numbered.
So how much trouble do graffitiers get for train cars if they get caught? Is it a lot?
I think it's a pretty hefty fine.
I
don't think you'd get arrested for it, but I think it's still defacing property and vandalism.
Yeah.
You might. Yeah,
is it government property?
No,
not government property. So you get a little break.
You would
there.
just get gone after by a multi-bajillion-dollar company of whatever train company, whether it be Norfolk Southern, CSX, whatever.
Yeah, and whatever Out West has.
Yeah, Norfolk Southern's king though. CSX can suck it.
You heard it here first.
It's for you, Dylan. Dylan doesn't watch this.
He might if I send him that clip, though.
All my homies hate CSX.
Everyone in the comments say, "Hi, Dylan."
Hi, Dylan. Somebody you'll never watch.
So yeah, we're probably gonna go see Bill Murray, and you know it's gonna be strange seeing Bill Murray in the capital of the country because
that's the most American thing I can think of.
Exactly. He's like, no, fuck South Carolina, Georgia, North Carolina. We're gonna go to DC.
Yeah, we're just gonna perform on the steps of the Capitol.
We're gonna take it right to his doorstep. I love Bill Murray. It's kind of strange because Bill Murray's a very good example of a break. Like a break from all the darker music we listen to. Yeah. I think he fits in perfectly.
That's true. Yeah, it's kind of like a lot of people have anticipated albums that are coming out and everything, and then he's just like, here's a song.
Yeah.
And it's like, ah!
Whether it's a full-blown music video with a combine or two deers fucking,
it's like, hey, Bring Me the Horizon put out an album. Yeah, but have you heard Bill Murray's new song?
Bring Me the Horizon did what now?
Bring Me the Horizon.
You ever heard of a band called Bring Me the Horizon?
Bring Me the Horizon.
Bring me down.
Out an album.
The Bottle of Water.
The Bottle of Water.
Water.
You just swish that in your mouth.
Yep.
I heard it.
You heard we swish with the peach?
Yeah.
We're not sponsored by Liquid Death, by the way. Oh, God. Jake, we have a caller. Hey, man. Well, thanks for calling Scene Labs. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. How y'all doing today?
Doing pretty good.
Doing pretty good, yeah. What brings you to our circle of scene today?
Well, listen, man. You know, I was watching y'all. I was listening to y'all. I was listening to y'all the other day while I was weed eating. And you know, y'all talking about, y'all ain't mentioned a single proper artist on this show.
We talk about a lot of artists, you know.
Who do you have in mind?
Yeah, is there someone you specifically think we should talk about?
You haven't talked about Hank Williams or Travis Tritt or Alan Jackson, not even some of that newest, you know, Luke Bryan, none of them. Y'all ain't said nothing but some real nice artists. I mean, I feel like you're excluding them, and I'm trying to figure out why.
Is that emo or metalcore?
I mean, technically, it'd be like farm emo.
It's country. He's talking about country music.
Some right proper country western music.
Yeah.
Oh well, I mean, this is the second person I've disappointed. I feel like.
I mean, we don't talk about it much, but I get down with it. I mean, the stuff that he named, I get, except for Luke Bryan. Luke Bryan's.
Well, you know, he's a simple bastard anyway, but, you know, I wasn't really, you know, I was just giving you an example of somebody that,
I get you.
even an idiot. Y'all ain't even mentioned the country idiots. Y'all really ain't talking about the good ones, but you ain't talking about no country idiots neither.
I mean, I guess it just doesn't.
I mean, we're a scene podcast, right?
Yeah.
Y'all are talking about the music scene, ain't you? Well, country is just as much part of the music scene as anything else.
I mean,
different scene.
I mean, Dolly Parton, Willie Nelson, Patsy Cline, they've been a part of the music scenes for decades, man, and y'all ain't said a word about them.
I guess it does predate what we're talking about.
Well, hey, we did talk about Post Malone and Morgan Wallen last week.
Yeah.
You know, he's a country idiot. Is that what you called him?
A slight mention.
Yeah, well, you know, all of a sudden, you know, that Post Maloney or whatever his name is gets in there. All of a sudden, and country music's cool. Then Beyonce is gonna make an album that's got country music in it. And everybody's like, "Oh man, this is really cool."
But you know, country music's one of those things that, you know, anyone can have a different interpretation of it, right? It must just sound like rock music. You know, it can be rock, but it can be different than the OGs.
Yeah, but the OGs did it right, and people acted like it just came up out of the grass yesterday. I mean, it don't make the sense.
Wait, hold on. I got to ask you a question. Do you actually think Post Malone did not do country right?
I'm saying he didn't do it first. You got to talk about who did it first before you ever talk about anybody else doing it.
I mean, we could go back
I feel like
hundreds of years.
This is the way with a lot of country music listeners that aren't like super new to it. Like if you've been listening for a while, it's like you got to start from the beginning, I guess. That's kind of how they feel.
Like, hey, how old are you?
Right.
Are you an old man or are you young and gun?
No, I'm 46. Celebrated my 46th birthday on April the 9th.
96. Okay, that would explain the Travis Tritt.
Well, my granddaddy, he grew up listening to, you know, Willie Nelson and all them, and he passed that on to me. And you know, that's real music right there, man. You know, that's some real music.
Well, you know, music is subjective, man, and you know, we like what we like, and even my co-host here, he likes country. You know, it's
sometimes. Whoa, don't you put that all on me.
Well, maybe he should take over the podcast because he's going to have a wide range of what's going on.
Stop making fun of the man and his music taste, okay? He's called in.
Fun of him. I said that I occasionally listen to it. Don't put me on as the one that only listens to country.
Why are you being so aggressive right now?
Because you're trying to. Listen to country sometimes.
Man,
all right.
All
look, I'm getting on your side over here.
All I want to know is when Dolly Parton and all them are going to get their chance on the podcast, so that when I'm out here working on the truck or out here fixing the lawnmower for the missus, that I have something that I can relate to. You know what I mean?
Respectfully, I think Dolly Parton had her time.
Yeah, they all kind of had their time.
It's the new age.
Did you just say that Dolly Parton had her time?
Yeah, I mean, we've moved on. Life has moved forward.
How dare you suggest that Dolly Parton ain't got anything left in the tank? No, that is what does the words that just came out your mouth, boy. You said that she's done. You said she's over with. I'm not going to sit by and let you talk bad about Dolly Parton like that, man.
You're the one that likes country. Clear this up.
I don't even listen to Dolly Parton.
Oh, so the country music fan on my podcast doesn't even listen to Dolly Parton.
I'm not old enough.
See, I had enough with these people.
I'm not 46.
46.
I'm 27.
You know what, man? Y'all have just lost a listener. If y'all can't even have some respect for country music, then you just lost a listener. All right? I've had enough.
We're losing too many listeners, Aaron.
Oh, you still want to say it's because of Ronnie Radke?
Not this time.
You're not putting this one on Ronnie?
You can't. Those Ronnie Radke and country music don't go anywhere close to each other.
Where are these people coming from?
I don't know.
How do they get this number?
I don't know. It's your number.
We didn't even talk about Bill Murray with him.
No.
He probably hasn't heard of Bill Murray.
No. I mean, if he's only talking about Dolly Parton and Willie Nelson and this man living in the 60s.
Maybe one day we'll get a Pierce the Veil fan that calls.
Maybe.
Some motionless and white.
Positive to say. Everybody's so angry. Those are the only people that are actively coming at you is the angry people. Nobody wants to participate and be happy about it.
Nope. Anyway, let's move on to topics that are not hateful and mean and biased towards one genre.
Create AI images for World Otter Day. That's happy.
Is that today?
Maybe. Is today World Otter Day?
It's World Otter Day today. 5/29.
Hey Siri, is today World Otter Day?
Okay, I found this on the web for Is Today World Day. Check it out.
Today World Day. Thanks, Siri. No help there.
Siri said, I got nothing for you. Let's get into this. I'm going to show you a picture, and for our video listeners, I'm going to put it up on the screen here. For our audio listeners, we're looking at an article that was posted by multiple different news outlets when the Eras tour started overseas.
The fuck does that say?
Would you like to read that headline for our listeners?
Well, the first line is, who is Paramore? Who are you? How old are you? Taylor Swift's support act. Okay.
We need to talk. This is a fucking problem, all right? This is why I've had enough of the fucking scene. And this isn't... No, I'm sorry, not the scene. Let me take that back. From the world outside of the scene, even though they've played so many Paramore songs on their radio stations. The article that was posted. Who is Paramore? Who is Paramore, Jake? Who the fuck is this little opening act called Paramore?
They're in the business of misery.
Was it ticking by a clock?
Yeah.
No, for real though. I think that this is mostly a fun thing just because every person that knows any type of anything about scene music, rock music, emo music, punk music, pop punk music, knows who fucking Paramore is.
Anybody that's been alive more than 15 years.
Any man who has listened to Paramore also wants to make her his wife. I mean, that is just how it is.
Yep.
So the disrespect by these certain news outlets, and I'm not going to say this one's name because I know there was more than this one and there was one more popular than this. I just couldn't find the screenshot. The disrespect. Okay, just because they're an opening act for Miss America herself, Taylor Swift, does not mean we need an article.
I'm going to say it. I hate that bitch.
We've been
Tune in next week for the angry Taylor Swift call.
Oh, great. Look what you've started now. You've opened the fucking floodgates. Because last time...
We're not going to get a word in on that one.
Last time we talked about Taylor Swift, we at least corrected ourselves and said, no, we hate the fans. But you just flat out said you hate the bitch.
Yeah, I just don't like Taylor Swift.
No, I don't either. And, you know, as great as an opportunity as it is for Paramore to open for her.
Yeah, it's good publicity for them because they've kind of...
Yes, but...
Younger people don't really listen to it.
But the problem is that now because Paramore is in little letters on a tour poster, they're all of a sudden the small band again. Just, you know, go make sure you show up early and see the openers. Bro, can I be honest?
Are they like the Dolly Parton of the scene? Have they had their time?
Are we being him about Paramore?
Shit.
Fuck. But yeah, I mean, actually, that's a pretty good comparison. Because I'm going to be bitching about how Paramore should still be relevant probably until my 60s.
Yep.
I mean, it's whatever. I just know that if I was spending tens of thousands of dollars to go to the Eras tour, I'd probably leave after Paramore. What the fuck's the point? First of all, I wouldn't pay that much money to go see Taylor Swift. I don't care if Paramore's there.
No.
But second of all, Paramore would be my headliner.
I don't think I'd stick around to watch Taylor Swift for free.
No. There's other things you can do.
Especially not when she's like only playing new shit.
I maybe would stay for Love Story.
Does she even do that anymore?
Yeah, she still plays her old stuff because she just redid all her albums. So she does like a 3-hour set and plays them like album by album.
God, Taylor Swift for 3 hours.
Eras tour.
Taylor Swift for 3 hours.
Meanwhile,
you know, all of these bitches that go to these tours, the Taylor Swift tours, 100% didn't listen to her back then.
Back when we were kids, when we listened to her?
100% did.
Teardrops on My Guitar era?
Yeah. You're the reason for the teardrops on my guitar.
Yeah. That was an emo line.
Yes.
And it should have stayed that way.
I got you on a few Taylor Swift songs.
What's that? No, we'll spend so much time on this. But
I know Taylor Swift. I know Taylor Swift probably better than a lot of people do.
Who the fuck is Paramore?
Who is Paramore?
Imagine hearing Misery Business and then hearing Taylor Swift right after. Imagine hearing Misery Business and there's not confetti falling. Imagine seeing Misery Business and it doesn't have the most stage production of the night. Imagine fans cheer louder for another woman on the same bill than Hayley fucking Williams. I'm done. Who the fuck is Paramore? Moving on. All right. Sleep Token. We've gone a couple episodes without mentioning them, but I wanted to bring something up regarding Sleep Token because there is trouble in paradise right now in the scene. And you may not know about this because you don't listen to Sleep Token.
True.
But they've been unmasked.
Oh, yeah?
A few of them have been outed by people like against their will.
I mean, that's going to happen. You cannot stay secret this day and age.
Yes, and I agree with you. I think it was a cool thing while it lasted. And like Slipknot, people are just going to have to move on.
Yep.
Accept that we know who they are and love them anyway. But people are pissed. And not at the band. But there are people on Twitter and TikTok that are getting so irate that people are unmasking Sleep Token. And it's showing up in like their feed. They'll get on Twitter and be like, I've seen too much of this disrespect lately. If you send me a Sleep Token unmasking video, I'm going to kill you and your family. Like, it is that serious to some people. And I'm just over here like, let's see. What did I write down here? Sleep Token unmasking is inevitable and people need to get over it.
Exactly.
It happened with Slipknot and the fans survived.
You can't be a secret in 2024.
There's no such thing.
No. I'm sure these Sleep Token band members have Facebook accounts, Instagram accounts.
Well, I'm pretty sure their drummer was actually outed because they found out he streamed on Twitch.
Well,
he games. I think it was their drummer.
You can't hide that.
No, absolutely not.
Especially with how big you've gotten.
And that's the other thing, too, is when you got that big, when you're now headlining arenas and stadiums overseas like this, I know they're probably not as big here as they are in the UK because they're a UK-based band. But when you get to that level, just accept that whatever the fans want to do with you, they're going to do it.
Yeah.
If they want to unmask you, they'll figure it the fuck out. There's no point. And people are holding on to this like it's a fucking their first-born child dying in their arms.
And when Slipknot was unmasked, everybody was wanting to know who they were.
Yeah.
Because they were good.
That's another interesting thing is why isn't that the case here?
Yeah. Why do you not want to know who your fucking idol is?
Yeah.
It's just that, is
it because the band
maybe they want to keep it
don't want it
dehumanized? Maybe you can be more of a fan if you don't associate it with an actual person.
I guess, but like, again, it's inevitable. And like, I get that you want to keep it a secret because the band wants to keep it a secret. Okay, I guarantee you the band has probably accepted it more than you have at this point.
Yeah. They've had to know that it's going to happen. I'm sure they don't care that much.
Yeah, if you're upset about Sleep Token getting unmasked, just get over it. It's bound to happen. All right. We're going a little out of order here because, we do all the songs at once. And then we do stories. We're doing it out of order tonight. I don't give a fuck. Because now we got to talk about Ra-ta-ta-ta-ta.
Ra-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta.
Electric Callboy has released their brand new single with Babymetal, and it's called Ra-ta-ta-ta-ta. So what did you expect when you saw this song existed and we were getting it in our ear holes? Before you heard it, what was your...
That?
Yeah, exactly what you got?
Yeah, exactly what I got. It's just Electric Callboy, but also with Babymetal.
Did you expect it to be as good as it was?
I mean, I like Electric Callboy songs. I'm not going to listen to them all the time, but it's a good little, I don't know.
Do you like Babymetal?
In moderation.
Yeah, I feel about the same way. Because I, unlike you, did not know what I was going to get here. I know that I have friends that love Babymetal and I have friends that like Electric Callboy, and I was like, okay, so what's Hypa mixed with Babymetal sound like?
This.
And it's this.
This.
Banger.
Yeah.
Very fucking good song. And not in the normal way. I would say this is not a normal song for the scene. It's kind of like what we were saying about Bilmuri, how it's just nice for a fun song. Yeah. This is that. This is a fun song.
Yep.
If you want something to blast on your subwoofer in your car while you're just trying to wake the fuck up, this is the song. And I imagine that this song would go absolutely insane live. Because you got the heavy.
Yep.
You got the anime sounding chorus.
Mm-hmm.
You got the fast. What you got?
It's a good song.
Good song. I would say great song on that one.
Yeah.
We already forgot to rate the first song we talked about.
Oh, that's 5 out of 5. I mean, what?
Really?
What else you gonna expect?
That's all you're gonna say?
What?
That's a motherfucking 6 out of 5.
A 6 out of 5?
6 out of 5. We're gonna call the 6 out of 5 the Bilmuri tier.
2 titties out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Full dad bod, belly hanging loose.
Yep.
6 out of 5. For this song, I'm gonna give it a 4.5. I really enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah, I think I'd give it a 4. It's kind of what I expected. Like I said, I'm not gonna constantly listen to it.
Sure.
Every once in a while on like a long car drive and I want to switch it up, yeah, I'll bring it in there.
Yeah. All right. I have a few brief songs to go over here that I know you didn't listen to, and I kind of listened to, and I was like, Jake won't really care about this. Honey Revenge new song. Did you happen to hear that one?
No.
Okay. Honey Revenge released their new single, and I didn't write down the name.
Typical.
You could write down the names of the new songs that come out.
I don't pay attention that much to the new songs that come out.
I love Honey Revenge. It's been said many times in the show. I voted for them at the Heavy Music Awards. So you cannot get mad at me for this. This was a B-side. This was supposed to be on the album, didn't make the cut. Put something out real quick. Kind of song. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like, I get that y'all liked it. Like, the band. If I'm speaking to the band right now, I know y'all like the song, and I appreciate that you're putting out more music. I'm ready for the next album, though. And it was cool. There was a microwave on the single artwork. Anyway, I'm gonna give that song a 3 out of 5. It was an okay song. Blackville Brides released their new single "My Friends" off of their what is the movie called?
Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney Todd. Their Sweeney Todd inspired EP. My Friends is literally a song from the movie. It is a very slow acoustic Broadway song. Pretty cool. My wife liked it a lot. She liked it a lot more than the stuff I usually listen to, so that was pretty cool. It's cool to hear Andy's voice on a song like that. However, I will say the whole time I was listening to him sing that song, all I could hear was Johnny Depp. Uh-huh. I was just like, oh yeah, no, that's Johnny Depp. I give that one also a 3 out of 5. It was pretty good for what it was. It's not Bleeders. Bleeders was fucking fire.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to bring up briefly was that, yes, I am very, very aware that 21 Pilots released a new album. I am going to get to it at some point. He doesn't really fuck with 21 Pilots like I do, and I don't think you'd have much to say.
Nah.
So
really.
I will get to it at some point. I'll either make a TikTok, a YouTube video, something. I'll give it a fair review, just like we're about to do. Hey, Jake, can you pass me a bottle of water?
One bottle of water. Should have actually gotten a bottle of water.
Here. I've barely drank any of my peach water.
It doesn't... We should have just got it for a prop, is what I'm saying. So I could be like, here, would you like this bottle of water?
A bottle of water.
Speaking of bottle of water.
We're too cheap to actually get a bottle of Walmart.
Bottle of Walmart? Bottle of Walmart water.
I'm too cheap to get a bottle of water from Walmart.
I don't think I've ever heard a British person say Walmart.
How do you say teardrops on my guitar with the British accent?
I don't know. I'm not very good at it. If I don't hear it first, I can't imitate it.
Jake, this is one of the most important conversations you and I have had on the podcast yet, in my opinion. You know I'm huge into Bring Me the Horizon. And Bring Me the Horizon has released their much anticipated follow-up to post-human survival horror entitled Post-Human Nex Gen. What a fucking album. And I don't know. We listened to it and we kept our opinions to ourselves for the most part. So this is going to be the first time I'm hearing most of Jake's opinions about the album. But I'm just going to get it out of the way right fucking now. That album was so good. And something that's important to mention here is they surprise dropped it. It had been delayed 3 times over the course of a year and a half. We were supposed to have this album a year and a half ago. And the last time they delayed it, they were like, well, so sorry, you know, I can't do the British accent.
I don't know what the fuck that was. So sorry.
They basically said, look, we're putting some finishing touches on the songs. We know you've heard most of the songs now as singles, so we're adding songs. Originally, it was only supposed to be like 10 tracks. It ended up being 16. So they gave us plenty of new material, and they were just like, surprise, out of the Shadow Realm, here's a new album. And it fucked up my plan for our podcast this week. But I could not be happier as a Bring Me the Horizon fan. I want to hear your general opinions of the album, and then we're going to break it down track by track a little bit. I have some notes, so don't worry.
Okay, yeah. It was a pretty good album. I liked it. I'm not a giant Bring Me the Horizon fan. I definitely listen to a lot of it.
Does it like pop up in those like...
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever skipped a Bring Me the Horizon song. So, yeah, I'd say I'm a fan.
Yeah. And for Jake, you know, he's not a very expressive person.
No.
He likes to use one-word answers to things sometimes.
Yes.
So if he says it's a good album, what he's saying in Aaron lingo is, that was fucking fire.
Yeah, I'm not a very expressive person. So,
and you give me a lot of one-word answers on the show, you know?
It's my thing. I'm not very interesting, I guess. Why am I here, Aaron?
Because I can't talk to myself. The spider moved.
It moved further away.
It did. He is alive.
It is alive, unfortunately.
Nah, keep going. Sorry.
I think the title was good because it definitely fit with the whole vibe of the rest of it.
It did.
It had that next gen futuristic kind of feel to it. I really like the transitions, even though that kind of makes it feel weird listening to one by itself.
You brought up a good point when we were listening to the album about the transitions, that it was specifically the songs are transitioned into what?
The singles.
The songs we had already heard.
Yeah. So you hear the end of this song and you're like, oh, I wonder what this is going to transition to. It sounds like it's leading into something. And then it's one of the singles that you've heard before. And you're like, oh, what? There was more to this? Yeah. I like good transitions, but it also makes it really weird if you're listening to it by itself. Like Wage War did it on Pressure.
Yes, they did.
Who I Am in Prison.
Yep.
Like led into the other one, but at the end of Who I Am is just this weird, like, it's like it leads into nothing if you're just listening to it by itself.
For sure. And it is interesting hearing those transition. Like, I think in one of the songs, there's even a countdown into the next song.
Yeah.
Where this like the drummer will go 2, 3, 4, and then the next song starts. We're like, oh, we heard the song a year ago.
Yeah, this album was made to be an album.
Yes.
Like they definitely finished the whole thing, and then we're, I guess, releasing singles.
Yeah.
Unless they released a single first, and then they had to have made it all.
Well, no.
Unless they were like, all right, we're gonna do something cool and put this at the end and make it lead into this.
I think there was definitely a couple songs as singles that came out before this album was a full idea yet.
Okay.
Like Die For You, that song came out forever ago.
That one didn't have a lead up though, I don't think.
Unless
they did it with all the singles and I didn't notice.
I don't think Die For You had one. Because Die For You kind of has its own lead up into the song when it starts. It has that thing, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So you liked it?
Yes.
All right.
Indeed.
Well, I have some notes track by track, and I don't usually do this, but this was the album for me. This album was that bitch for me this year so far. Utopia is the first track on the album. Oh, by the way, I'm not including the instrumentals. They're fine. They're there. Anyway, Utopia gets lost in the record to me because it is a very chill emo song. It is probably the chillest song on the record. There's barely any screaming. It is a very low tempo song, whereas most of the songs in this record are very fast. It's a great song. It's actually one of my favorites. It's emo as fuck, and it has a great chorus. But I think that it gets lost, and I feel like it should be on a different spot on the record. I feel like Utopia would have been like a great halfway through type of song. Because if you would have started the album with a heavier song, and I actually have one in mind, so I'll get to it. That's typically how we receive music nowadays, I think, especially when we do sit down and listen to an album in full, there's usually a fast-paced song or a heavy song that starts off the record. And I'm by no way saying I know better than the band. I'm just saying that Utopia, I fear, will get lost in the noise a little bit because of that. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about that song. Do you have anything to add?
No, I was just going to let you do this. Go off, King.
All right, bet. So the next song is Kool-Aid. Now, Kool-Aid was the last single leading up to the album that came out. This was one that you've had some time with before today. It works so much better on the album than it does as a standalone single. This was probably my least favorite single when it came out. And I couldn't really tell you why. I loved the chorus and I loved the breakdown at the end, but for some reason it just didn't do it for me. I didn't listen to it as much as the other singles. But after listening to Utopia transition to Kool-Aid and it being a part of a much bigger body of work, I think that I appreciated it a lot more. Some things that I wrote down here was that, basically everything I just said. But I want to touch on the chorus again because the chorus of Kool-Aid really is great. And that is going to be something that is a reoccurring theme when we talk about this album, because I don't think there is a single song on this album that had a bad chorus. I mean, they are all like punch you in the mouth choruses. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yes.
All right. The next song I want to talk about is called Top 10 Statues That Cried Blood. By the way, weird fucking song titles.
It is. Yep.
Like, go off, Fall Out Boy. Like, this is tied with my favorite song on the record. I actually wrote down here it was my favorite song.
I think that one, I'll go with that one as my favorite.
That was your favorite too?
Yeah.
I wrote down that it was my favorite song and then it changed, but I'm actually going to say it's tied with my other favorite song, and I'm not going to spoil that. But Yeah, the first and second listen, that was the song. When I heard it, I was like, yo, they're not fucking missing. This is incredible. And I wrote down that it is the best hyper pop metal emo song ever made. Not just because it's good, but because there's not many songs that sound like that. I would argue there's a lot more electronic elements to that song.
That seems to be the theme with a lot of the songs that got added to the album that weren't singles.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all have a very heavy electronic feel.
For sure. And not even just in like a dance music way. Some of it's just distortion.
Yeah.
Some of it's just fucky, like you're in the apocalypse trying to get a radio signal type of thing.
Yep. Fits with it though, for sure.
It is the best chorus on the album. That Top 10 Statues is the best chorus on the record.
It is a solid classic metalcore chorus.
Yep. Now you don't know who this is, but I figured I'd write this down because a lot of people do. If you've ever heard of an artist called Porter Robinson, he is an EDM artist that started doing hyperpop recently. But ironically, I'm actually going to be talking about the EDM side because I think that this song has a lot of Porter Robinson vibes and like mixed throughout the song. The peaceful, like almost anime noises, like you can picture like an anime character like running through a field. It's kind of that vibe, but that hit me immediately. So if you know who Porter Robinson is, check him out and yell at me in the comments if I'm wrong.
I guess they were going for that album cover, what the little girl on the album cover might sound like.
I was wondering that too. Like there's definitely, I
think it's supposed to be her voice.
Yeah. And if you look at Post-Human Survival Horror from 2020, I'm pretty sure it's the same fucking girl on both album covers. You can look and tell me if I'm crazy, but I think it's supposed to be the same one. For Top 10 Statues, it is a poppy song, but there is still smash at the end. They still have the heavy, they hit you in the face. It's also a reoccurring theme with these songs is a lot of them will be very poppy, and then they will still hit you with a brick. The last thing I'll say about Top 10 Statues is one of the lines in the choruses is "I'm drowning in my sleep." They say that line a few times. Do you know what that is in reference to?
It sounds familiar.
All right, so it's one of Under Oath's most popular songs from like 2005. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that there is a song on this album featuring Under Oath. Now, one thing I want to just touch on real quick before I get to the next song is you mentioned how it's like Nex Gen, it's futuristic, right? But what's fucking funny is that a lot of these songs sounds like early 2000s, like emo post-hardcore songs too.
Yeah.
It's like a mix and it's so well done.
But that was the whole thing with the early 2000s though. Was everybody was trying to have this like futuristic sound.
Right.
Yeah.
And like you remember like Attack, Bilmuri?
It's a futuristic sound, but now the futuristic sound is a classic sound.
Yep. And now we're rebirthing it.
Mind blown. To sound futuristic is to sound old.
It's crazy. But they pull it off.
Yeah.
And I think I was watching Nick Nocturnal on his Twitch stream talking about this album, and he was, first of all, he liked it. But it's like, this is what he said. He said, there are so many artists that try to imitate that post-hardcore sound like Under Oath had back in the day. And sometimes they will even feature Under Oath to try and do it, but they don't pull it off like they have. Mm-hmm. We'll get more into that in a couple songs. The next song we're going to get into is the song Limousine, or as I would like to call it, the Deftones song on the record.
Song. It's very grungy.
It is.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how I feel about this song yet. I feel like I haven't heard it enough, and I feel like it's one of those songs that could grow in me in like a year, right?
It would definitely fit on a soundtrack to a PlayStation 2 game.
Yes. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Even like a Need for Speed Underground type of game too.
Yeah. Because I think there was a Deftones song on one of the older Need for Speed.
I wouldn't doubt it.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the Bring Me the Horizons Deftone track, and I'm going to touch on this. Understand, though, that I don't have the knowledge to give my opinion on it, but a lot of people are comparing this song to Mood Ring, too, the band Mood Ring. Have you heard of them? Mm-mm. They apparently have a song. I don't remember what it's called, but it's very similar riffage, and they weren't, like, accusing them of ripping Mood Ring off. It was just a very similar sound. Mm-hmm. And I think that's another reoccurring theme here is that Bring Me the Horizon is doing their own thing like they always do, but they are using influences.
Well, I mean, everybody has influences.
Yeah.
You can't pull a sound out of nowhere.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they can't pull influence from Ronnie Radke because then Ronnie Radke would say they're copying him.
That's true.
So
even though Ronnie Radke pulls influences from everywhere else.
Yep. Yeah, slow grower for me. It wasn't my favorite upon first, second, or third listen, but I do like it enough for it to change in the future when I get tired of the other ones. The feature sounds great. Her name is Aurora. She is a very popular pop singer. She actually has 12 million monthly listeners on Spotify, which is pretty big. I don't know if she's not American or what. I hadn't heard of her, but
yeah, I've never heard of her.
I thought she did a pretty good job.
Probably the same people who listen to Taylor Swift. I doubt it. People that listen to Taylor Swift only listen to Taylor Swift.
Her music is darker pop.
Yeah.
It might actually be poetic.
Okay.
So this was also the song that was teased to have a Billie Eilish feature on it. Do you find that interesting that may have been an idea and then it didn't work out? Could you see it?
I could see it.
Do you know why people think that Billie was supposed to be featured on the song?
Why?
So Ollie posted a teaser of the song on I think it was Instagram, and Billie Eilish commented on it with a winky face or something like that. And so people have heard Ollie say many times he wants to collaborate with Billie, and Billie has said many times she wants to collaborate with Bring Me.
I think that could work for sure.
So everyone wanted Billie to be on the song with that, and I think that it probably was a plan and it just fell through. But Aurora did great. I'm not taking anything away from her. I'm just saying that that's an interesting thing to put out there. A reason I do like this song is it provides a lot of contrast to the rest of the album. And I wrote that down, but then I was thinking about it. I'm like, dude, every song is different on this album. This is not a Breaking Benjamin album where every song sounds the same. This is every song sounds mostly different. The heavy part of the end is fucking good. The really deep screams at the end, perfect. Moving on. Dark Side. So this was I think this was the single before the last single that came out. It was also the last song with Jordan Fish, a part of the band. Which, if you don't know, Jordan Fish was the keyboards, backup vocals. He did all their production. He planned he was a huge part of the band. Whenever you hear a song, they're like, oh yeah, that sounds like Jordan Fish had a hand in it. That kind of thing. And if you want me to go way back, Sempiternal was Jordan Fish's baby. That's where their sound changed heavily from the really heavy stuff to the sound we know and love now. That was his influence.
And that was one of their most iconic songs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sandpit Turtle.
Sandpit Turtle. How do you say that in British? Sandpit Turtle.
Yeah, I'm not going to attempt it.
This is the most boring song in the album. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I mean that in this album is so good and it's very busy. It has a lot going on. And then this song was the most octane song on the record. And to me, while it provides contrast, it also makes it a tad bit boring compared to the other songs. Now, I listened to this song. Let me be clear. This is in my playlist, so I like the song.
Do you think it was boring because you knew it so well?
No, because I thought it was boring since the day it came out. Yeah, I actually remember hearing it for the first time. I was in the car with my wife, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is the most boring Bring Me the Horizon song in a long time. But again, I love it. It's got a great chorus. That's what saves it. The chorus is solid.
That's what makes it a radio song.
Yep.
Well, XM radio song.
There's a Papa Roach reference in the song, in the chorus, and they always even come out and said that I don't even remember the line, but it's from Last Resort. They did what Asking Alexandria did with this song, with the boring rock kind of vibe, but they did it way better than Asking Alexandria has done it in a long time. There's a song on Posthuman 1 called One by One, and that was a similar kind of vibe. So if you're curious, check that one out, and I think you'll hear a lot of similarities. All right, let's get to the only, The song featuring Under Oath, because that was the song from when they teased the track list at a live concert. They put it up on the screen. We saw the name of the song, and we saw those beautiful, beautiful words that said, featuring Under Oath. Jake only likes Under Oath when he's drunk, but I have Under Oath tattoos.
I like everything when I'm drunk. You can't show me something that I don't like when I'm drunk.
All right, let me change that. Jake hates on Under Oath when he's sober. It don't matter.
I hate on it. I've never hated on it.
Yeah, you have.
I didn't hate on it. It's just not... I just don't vibe with it all the time.
There you go. That's fine. I'm not actually giving you shit, Jake. It's okay. Now, a bullet with my name on, featuring Under Oath. This was the best recreation of early 2000s post-hardcore. And... I don't mean that lightly. Going back to what I said about how Under Oath pulls it, or Bring Me the Horizon pulls it off. This is another example of the song. And they definitely had a lot more Under Oath inspiration on this song. I wouldn't even be surprised if there were more members than just Aaron and Spencer on the song. Like, I'm talking maybe they got their guitarist, their drummer, well, their drummer's Aaron, but their bassist, whoever involved in the making of this song. Because it sounded like they're only chasing safety. It sounded like Reinventing Your Exit. Like, mixed with a lot more of the hyperpop elements, too. So I just thought that worked out really, really well.
Maybe that's why I'm not so into Under Oath.
Why?
Because I wasn't really into the post-hardcore in the early 2000s. I would have had to go backwards to it, really.
Do you like it now?
Yeah, more than I used to, but...
Under Oath is another band that was in, like, movies and video games and stuff, too.
Yeah.
I wrote down a few bands that I thought this song kind of reminded me of, and I wrote down The Used, Under Oath, and Census Fail from back in the day, because that's just what the song reminded me of. There is a bigger story with this song, however, and it's an unfortunate one, because did I tell you about the drama that was going on with Bring Me the Horizon on Twitter, where they posted that tour poster with the Sleep Token? Did I not tell you about that?
I don't think so.
So they posted a tour poster and it said, if Jesus Christ returns, we'll just kill that fucker twice. And Christian Twitter found it and started going off, right? Now keep in mind, this is a concept record. This is not to be taken literally. There are characters that are written. It is a fiction with real world elements to it, of course, like depression and stuff like that. But the funny part about all this is, it wasn't Ollie that said it. It was the ex-Christian band member Spencer Chamberlain from Under Oath. How the turntables. I'm in an Under Oath fan group, and I can testify that people were not happy about that lyric. But I think that it's just... I get it. You know, I respect if you're overly religious and that kind of stuff offends you. Okay, I understand that. I understand even if you go out and say you don't want to listen to it anymore. But they denounced their Christianity in like 2010. And Ollie's always been very outspoken about how anti-Christianity he is. So I don't know why this was as surprising as it was. I don't think Spencer Chamberlain is sitting back and going, yeah, if Jesus Christ came back, I think I'd murder his ass. I don't think that's a literal thought. And there are other ways to interpret the song as well. One of the more popular ways I saw was, you know, us as a human race, we're so fucked at this point. We do such horrible shit that if Jesus Christ really did come back, he'd have to die for us again because of how shitty it is. And I think that that's probably the way I want to interpret it. I'm not a Christian. I come from a very religious background. Not that my beliefs are important here, but it didn't offend me, is what I'm saying.
You're able to interpret it differently because of that, though, because you do come from a heavily Christian background.
Yes.
So you know things, but even though you don't follow it.
Right. And Under Oath was the band that I was allowed to listen to. When I wanted to listen to metal or screamo or whatever, Under Oath was the Christian band that I was allowed to listen to. And so, yeah, hearing him say those words is a little jarring for me. But at the same time, it's like, this is a concept record. It's Bring Me the Horizon.
Yeah.
I don't believe these people are sitting back and like, yeah, if this man who died for my sins or whatever came back, I'd kill him. I don't think that was the vibe. I don't think that was the goal. But I also going to play devil's advocate a little bit and say that it was a very literal lyric to write. It was a very like open and closed case. So I don't hate you if you think that way, but I don't feel that way about the song. Do you have an opinion about it after hearing all that? Like, does it bother you?
No, I wouldn't say it bothers me. It's definitely it's got a shock factor to it that I think they probably did on purpose.
Yeah.
And
do you think they had Spencer do it on purpose, the ex-Christian band member?
I think that'd be smart.
Yeah.
I think that'd be the most shock factor of it.
Yeah.
So everything's about publicity, Aaron.
Yeah. I don't know. It's whatever. I heard it and moved on, and then I logged into Facebook. It was Facebook, by the way.
Oh, of course,
where all the hate was coming from.
That's where the Christians live.
People quoting Bible verses and being like, "I can't listen to this band anymore."
Yeah, you said on Twitter, and I was like, "Christian Twitter."
Well, no, it started on Twitter. Okay. It was Christian Twitter. It is a place. It exists. Huh. They were canceling Bring Me though, because we didn't know if it was lyrics. We didn't know if it was just something Ollie decided to post on a poster. It was just there. And when the song came out, everyone was like, oh shit, it's not Ollie that said it. Anyway, we don't need to keep going on about it, but I felt like it was interesting and worth bringing up. The next song we're going to talk about is Narcotics Anonymous, and I'm going to start getting through these a little quicker. Contrast. This is another example of a song that it kind of slowed things down a little bit, but it's also the Weezer song of the record. It's Weezer with more cuss words, or more cuss words and angry noises. I also mentioned to you Green Day. I felt like was a huge vibe with this song. You could hear Green Day a little bit there. It's a song we all need, even though it's not healthy. And to explain that a little bit, maybe I should drop dead, eat shit, throw myself out a window. Maybe I should make love to a chainsaw. It's just a fuck off type of song. It is a I'm not feeling this shit today song. Like, you get to work, you pick up your pens or your wrenches, and you're like, I would rather not fucking be here song. And I think that it did really well in that regard for me. That's kind of the mood I would want to be in when I blast that song. The live vocals in that song, hello, Ollie, you fucking noghead, I think is the first lyric. And then, did you think you had us fooled? Bring Me the Horizon actually live recorded those vocals when they teased the album track list at their show, and I think it was the UK. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's like if...
You probably said knobhead, like knob.
Knob?
Yeah.
That's
dickhead in British.
Knobhead.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know why I said nog, like eggnog. Motherfucking eggnog.
Knobhead.
All right.
Dickhead, yeah.
So I think it's kind of cool. If you were at that show, you're permanently on the album somewhere. Buried in the mix and the compression, but you were there. Those were a mix of your voice too. That's pretty dope. Once again, great chorus. And it's one of my favorites. Next song, Lost. This was a single. This was one of the most talked about promoted singles. If you recall, there was a music video for it where they're in a hospital. They're blowing people up. Ollie's killing people because they tried to do brain surgery on him and he didn't like it very much. This was the best of the singles by far for me. You got the emo, hyper pop, fun vibe to it, but also it's an MCR song dressed in more colorful clothes. That's what I thought of this song immediately. Was it sounded like MCR. And I wrote down here and stand by it that it is one of the best choruses on the album. Because I do say a lot that they have good choruses. This is like top 3 for me. Strangers. Strangers is that song where it is the chorus. You know, the name of the song, Strangers, we're in a room full of strangers. It is an anthem-y type of get together and figure our shit out together type of song.
I think out of all the singles, that's the one that I heard the most.
Yeah, I think it got the most radio play too.
Yeah.
It's an old song, little bit old to be on an album, but it like 2 years later or a year and a half later, but it works with the rest of the album. It is a little boring compared to some of the other songs, but I think you need a song like this on this record. I think it needs to exist here. And I feel like that song, like I've seen it live and it was great live. I would argue that a song like that is better live. Rip. A very busy poppy fuck you song. I wrote down that this would be the club banger song of the album. So if you're a scene kid and you want to go clubbing, this is the song you probably put on.
It's going to play at emo night.
Oh, for sure. It's got the whoa-ohs at the end, but it's also got the angry fuck you lyrics that Ollie likes so much. A very busy poppy fuck you song. Amen, featuring Lil Uzi Vert and Glassjaw. This was also one of my favorite singles. It is heavy. It is the heaviest song on the album by far. It has one of the best choruses on the album. And it is the song that says Nex Gen in the lyrics. So when you hear that, you know, it's immediately like when you hit a home run in baseball, you get a bunch of cheers, even if it's just in your head.
Oh, he said it like when they say the title of the movie in the movie. Yeah.
He fucking said it. Roll credits.
He said it. Roll credits.
This is the one that I felt like should have been the intro to the album. The just heavy banger right off the rip with the chorus too. Like, I thought it was great. Uzi Vert got like 10 seconds in this song, but he didn't screw it up.
Yeah.
And I mean that respectfully.
Yeah, he didn't screw it up, so probably don't give him too much more.
Yep. Daryl from Glassjaw killed his part too. Again, very small. I mean, I get why they're featured, but this is one of those cool cases where Ollie knows he could have just done the song himself, but he chose to have those people on, which I thought was pretty cool. The bridge on this song is my favorite bridge on the album. The lead up to the heavy breakdown and screaming at the end is really good. Just the ending in general is great. So if you like heavy, that's the song. Die For You. Die For You is almost 3 years old. And I think a lot of people were surprised it was on the album. It is the Post Malone song of the album is what I labeled this one because, and you know, it wasn't just me. A lot of people, when they heard this song, they thought Post Malone. Baller chorus, emo, so much fucking emo. This actually is one of my favorite lines on the album. This isn't love, this is a car crash. This isn't love, this is a bloodbath. This is a sentence, it's a bullet in the head, so pull the trigger. And I remember hearing that line 3 years ago and thinking, damn, for some reason I resonated with that lyric. I couldn't even tell you if that's what his intention was, but it's also kind of a shock factor lyric. Like, this isn't love, this is a bloodbath, you know? Dig It. The closing track of the album. This is the other one that's tied with my favorite. It is the saddest song on the album. It's very much Ollie, you know, I feel like he's letting it out a little bit more. He's showing a little bit about what he's been dealing with and how he still struggles with his addiction to this day. If you don't know, he was addicted to ketamine. He mentions that in the song Lost. I had to look up the lyrics to figure out what word he was saying when he said ketamine, because that is a very interesting weird word to hear with a British accent. I love the distortion and voice changes they do in this song. I thought it was so fucking cool. And the transition from the really low, chill, sad to the extremely heavy was one of my favorite transitions on the album. I thought the lyrics in the song were really creative. And the name of the song is Dig It. So the line is, life is a grave and I dig it, which could be taken in a couple different ways. You're digging your own grave, or I dig it as in I enjoy it. And I think that was super creative. Another one is he mentioned swallowing the rabbit hole. So that could be taken a couple different ways.
Are you swallowing the rabbit hole, or are you swallowing the rabbit hole?
Yeah, exactly. And I thought that was so fucking cool. Now these next lyrics I'm about to read aren't necessarily like, oh, that was so clever, but it's more of sad, and I felt something when he said it. I need to give my ghost a reason to let it slide. was a line where it's like, I don't really know what he's trying to say there. I don't know what part of his mind he's talking about, but I need to give my ghost a reason, as if his ghost was another individual thinker. I thought that was very cool. I found a way to hide and now I'm addicted is a tragic line, especially when you think about someone you know who might be addicted to drugs. Life can be really fucking difficult. That was they found a way. They found a way to hide from it, and now they're addicted. And the fact that Ollie just came out and said it, I thought was really, really cool. And then at the end, he repeats it a couple times before the transition to the heavy is, I don't want to lose myself again. It was kind of mixed into the background. So thought that was really, really good. Tragic, but good. Just some general things to say about the album. It was mixed mostly by Zach Cervini, which is a huge, huge name. He's made a lot of albums. I didn't write any down, but he's worked with many artists you listen to if you like this kind of music. Once again, we have a new and different Bring Me the Horizon. They've never made the same record twice, ever. And they continue that. No Jordan Fish, no fucking problem. I mean, a lot of people were worried that once Jordan left the band, they were going to fall off, and that just is not the case. It is a concept album, kind of, but I feel like this is one of those albums where you listen to it and you come up with your own meaning to the songs, or you could do some research and find out about the lore that Ollie's writing here. Either way, the album works, I feel like. Bring Me the Horizon has maintained their ability to stay constantly ahead of the curve when it comes to metal, emo scene music. And there's no slippage here from that. And I think they're going to continue doing that. Like, this is not one of those reviews where I'm going to give you good and bad, because Bring Me the Horizon continues to make that sound. And that sound is a sound that's new. It's never... You can't just be like, oh, this whole album as a whole sounds like this album from this band. You might get individual songs, like you mentioned, Deftones, Post Malone, Green Day, but as a whole, it's Bring Me the Horizon. And now everyone's going to try and copy this sound. That's what's next. It's heavy and poppy, all in one record, and I feel like it is the love child of Ammo and There Is a Hell. I'm going to give this album my first 5 out of 5. Oh, no, albums we do 10, right?
Yeah, I think albums 10.
So albums, this is my first 10 out of 10. I absolutely loved this record, and I could talk about it for hours, but I will cease now because my mouth is really fucking dry after all that. Oh, man, what a show. Callers, albums, songs.
Yeah, you could probably make your album review its own.
It's. I think it could. I think you're right.
This is our 2-part episode.
Yeah, for sure. And I didn't even talk about 21 Pilots. Imagine if I tried to do them both in the same episode.
This is our 3-part episode.
Mark my words, though, Bill Murray will get his own episode. He's not going to have to share.
That album's going to come out.
Yep. And when that album comes out, he's not going to be sharing with no one. He's going to get his own episode. Oh, man. I think we covered it all. You have anything you'd like to add? You haven't talked in like a half an hour.
No, I don't really have anything else right now.
No apologies to make to anyone? No.
I already made my apologies earlier for not bringing up Bill Murray, but we did that this time.
Yeah.
He had a new song to talk about, and we for sure will do that.
Did the country guy give us his name?
No.
I think we should just call him Hank Williams. When good old Hank Williams called, I'm sorry that, man, we couldn't have more for you, but yeah. Which one did you hate more? Or not hate, because we don't hate anyone, but like, which conversation made you more irate? The angry metalhead or the country man?
I'd say the angry metalhead. Because it's such a similar genre. And you want to be angry about it.
So you think the country guy had more ground to stand on?
Well, yeah. Because he had more ground to stand on, but maybe not, because it's so far away from what we talk about.
It is
a complete opposite genre.
TikTok algorithm is screwing up bad. We just need to make our own algorithm.
Yep.
All right, y'all. Well, let's go home. Got work tomorrow.
Yep.
Working man.
I hope
you enjoyed this week's episode, and I hope you don't post in the comments about anyone that we don't talk about or anything we missed because we probably just didn't care.
They don't hate us.
Or hate us because, that gets clicks. Oh, and we're only in it for the clicks, right?
No such thing as bad publicity.
No such thing. Have a good one.
Bye.